Here's a number worth sitting with. 57% of Gen Z would abandon a full-time job to become a social media influencer, and over half of Gen Z already has a side hustle. On the surface, that sounds like ambition, but underneath that number is a specific, repeating trap that's quietly costing this generation thousands of dollars, and almost nobody's naming it directly. If you're Gen Z or you know someone who is, and you've ever bought a course, an ebook, or a start your own business program promising financial freedom, this is genuinely for you. Here's the problem in plain terms. The side hustle economy has exploded into something worth over $674 billion in 2026 alone. And riding directly alongside that real, legitimate growth is an entire industry of courses, masterclasses, and proven systems selling the dream of quitting your job without selling the actual math behind it. One popular online side hustle course has already come under formal investigation after customers complained about deceptive claims. That's not a fringe warning sign. That's an entire business model built specifically around this exact generation's very real desire for financial independence. Here's the core point. The scam almost never looks like a scam. It looks like a confident person your own age, filming from a nice apartment or a beach, saying some version of, "I made 6 figures doing this, and I'll show you exactly how." The average Gen Z side hustler actually earns around $9,800 a year. Real, but modest, nowhere close to the 6-figure lifestyle used to sell the course in the first place. The gap between what's shown in the marketing and what actually happens for most buyers is enormous, and it's papered over with cherry-picked screenshots, testimonials from the tiny percentage who did succeed, and language specifically designed to make failure feel like it was your fault, not the system's. Dropshipping is the clearest example of exactly how this works. The model itself isn't inherently a scam. Plenty of legitimate businesses genuinely use it. But the get-rich-quick version promoted by online gurus has created wildly unrealistic expectations that lead most beginners straight into frustration and real financial loss. Razor-thin margins, unreliable suppliers, and brutal competition selling identical products all get quietly left out of the pitch. The people who actually succeed tend to share specific traits. They pick a niche they genuinely understand, and they treat it like an actual business requiring real skill, not a passive income hack you can learn from one weekend course. Here's the part that makes this especially effective on this specific generation. Nearly half of Gen Z regularly engages with educational, how-to style content on social platforms. This isn't a generation being fooled by flashy ads alone. It's a generation genuinely trying to learn and better itself, watching what looks like real education. And 61% of Gen Z report feeling societal pressure to monetize their hobbies, while 44% of side hustlers already report burnout or exhaustion from the hustle they're currently running. That combination, genuine desire to learn, real social pressure to earn extra income, and existing exhaustion, creates exactly the emotional state where a confident stranger promising a shortcut becomes very hard to resist, even for someone who would normally be skeptical. There's a financial detail here that makes this even more serious than a simple bad purchase. For a striking number of Gen Z earners, specifically those making under $50,000 annually, side hustle income now makes up 76% of their total income, not a fun side project anymore, but a core source of actual liquidity they depend on. When someone in that position spends money they don't have much of on a course promising to multiply that income and the course underdelivers, the damage isn't just the price of the course itself. It's the lost time, the lost momentum, and often money that was genuinely needed elsewhere. So how do you actually tell a legitimate side hustle opportunity apart from one of these traps? Here's the honest, practical breakdown. First, treat any pitch built around a specific dollar amount and a specific short time frame as an immediate red flag. Real business results vary enormously based on effort, market conditions, and plain luck. Anyone promising a specific number by a specific date is selling certainty that doesn't actually exist in any real business model. Second, look specifically for what the pitch avoids mentioning. Genuine side hustle education talks openly about ad spend, supplier problems, platform fees, and the actual time investment required. If a pitch only shows the income screenshot and skips every cost and difficulty entirely, that's not an educational resource. That's a highlight reel with a price tag attached. Third, check whether the person selling the course is making their money primarily from the business they claim to run, or primarily from selling courses about that business. This distinction matters enormously. Someone genuinely running a successful side hustle usually doesn't need to sell you a $500 course explaining how they did it. The business itself is already the income. Fourth, before paying for any program, search the creator's name alongside words like complaint, refund, or review, specifically. A pattern of unresolved complaints, even from a confident, well-produced account, tells you far more than the sales page ever will. And fifth, remember that the most reliable side hustles right now tend to look genuinely boring compared to the ones being sold with the most hype. Freelance skills, virtual assistant work, content creation built slowly over time. These consistently outperform the flashy one weird trick pitches, precisely because they're built on real, transferable skill, rather than a secret system somebody's trying to sell you. So here's the honest summary. Side hustles themselves aren't the scam. The underlying economy is real and genuinely growing, and plenty of people are building legitimate income streams inside it. The scam is the specific promise wrapped around it, that there's a shortcut, a system, a course that turns effort into a formality you can skip past. If you're Gen Z carrying real financial pressure and genuine ambition, that promise is aimed directly at you, and it's worth recognizing the pitch before your money does. If this changed how you'll look at the next side hustle secret video that shows up on your feed, let me know in the comments. I want to know if you've ever bought into one of these courses yourself. Hit like if this was useful, subscribe for more honest breakdowns instead of hype, and send this to a friend who's currently eyeing one of these proven systems before they spend money on it. This is Mike, signing off.